Welcome back. We still have Mr. Omeje here. Mr. Omeje, we're talking about
Overtaking.
Overtaking.
Is it from the right or is it from the left?
Ideally, it should be from the left.
Ideally, it should be from the left, yes.
But you still find people using the other way.
Yes. And that's why we've been campaigning on the issue of this lane discipline. At times, you see people overtake from the right because the man in front
has refused to move.
The right driving practice is always stay at the right lane except when you are overtaking. And when you use the left lane to overtake, you also return back to that same right lane, or the service lane, as we often refer to it technically and professionally, as a service lane. So you overtake using the inner lane and you return back to the service lane.
Are there speed limits for each lane?
No. It's not the speed limit.
Or speed parameters you can use?
The speed limit in Nigeria is based on the road type. Of course.
Why I ask if there are speed limits, because some will say, especially for that fast lane, if you are approaching 60 kilometers per hour, I mean 40, depending on where you are. If you're within the town, you're approaching 40. You can stay on that lane and then come back inside.
That's a misunderstanding of the whole thing.
Okay, so please.
No.
Thank God you're here.
You see these two lanes. Do you know that there are places where it can be three? Very soon now, if you finish rehabilitating the cause, it's going to be 3 lanes. 3 this way, 3 this way. That's 6 in all. But no matter whichever destination you find yourself, the rule is always keep to this service lane. If you want to overtake, use this lane, overtake, and return. So keeping yourself here is not about the speed you are making. Even if there is a road, only you on Lagos Ibadan, and you are going on 100 kilometers, which is what the maximum speed limit says for that road, you still keep to this service lane. And if there is a vehicle in front of you, you overtake him and you still return to that service lane, irrespective of your speed. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not about I am on the service lane because I am making 30, or because I'm making, or I'm on 100 fast lane because I am on 100. No. You are on 100 and there is no vehicle in front of you. You still return to the service lane, because there may just be somebody who may come when you may not least expect it and want to overtake you. So all those people that keep themselves permanently on the fast lane, they are actually contravening traffic regulation.
We were talking earlier about, drinking and, at the same time driving. Are there plans? I know outside the country you have, equipment whereby you can check, breathalyzers, where you can check
It's not outside the country.
Wait, I'm coming back here.
Okay.
The ones that we have, do we have enough? And at what point do you start to check for somebody's, breath to know if the alcohol level in the body is too high?
Okay. You have done 2 in 1. So let me take the first one. When we're looking at the issue of breathalyzers, let's not just say outside. Here we have it in Nigeria. The question is, do we have enough? No, we don't have that enough as we really want it. And that's why we have been partnering with stakeholders to help us with some of these equipment, because they are really expensive, and government also need a helping hand in that regard. And we have been getting those support. Recently, one of our stakeholders gave us some of those latest digital breathalyzers that has the ability to you store the information, print it out for purposes of prosecution. So we have it, but do we have it enough? No. And that's where I want to say, everybody watching us, as you are led, if you can also give a helping hand to FRSC in that regard as part of your corporate social responsibility, we will really appreciate it. It's my heart desire that this kind of digital breathalyzer we have, and I have it in all my patrol vehicles in Lagos, and we have it even in beyond Lagos, all the patrol vehicles in FRSC, that we have it like that. So it is in some patrol vehicles now, we have not gotten it all around. So I answer, do we have it at enough? Then on the issue of at what point do you really breathalyze? The issue of breathalyze relies on the discretion of the team leader or the personnel on the road. There's a way you will see somebody approaching you on the speed he is coming. You reasonably believe or even looking at him, the way he is going on the lane. One of the characteristics of a drunk driver is inability to maintain the lane. You see him moving in a zigzag form. Where his tire is this way, is moving this way, is going this way, is coming back again. So you can pull up such a person. You randomly look suspect, reasonably, when you reasonably suspect that somebody is just under, you pull him out and you breathalyze. I might just read positive. You know, so it's just about random thing. It's not that you just come and you block the road and you say everybody, you are breathalyzing everybody. No, you just, there are some principles that will just help us. You look at certain things somebody is doing and you decide to pull him out and breathalyze.
Now, let me quickly go back to the issue of phone, using a phone during driving.
Yes.
Is it about holding the phone? Because we have cars now that you don't even need to hold anything. Just, you know, you can take your calls even while you're driving. Is it that we shouldn't use the telephone, the phone at all? Or we could use some other devices to answer our calls or to make calls?
I think the issue of use of phone is about distracted driving. Actually, if you are really discussing it, you discuss it under the heading distracted driving, which is anything that will distract your attention while on steering, you must just avoid it. It's not about I'm holding it with my hand. Yes, holding it with my hand is one thing, but the main thing is where is your attention at that point in time. Driving requires 100% concentration. 99.9 is not good enough. So it's not about I'm holding it with my... When you are holding it with your one hand, you are committing another offense, which under the National Road Traffic Regulation, it is termed dangerous driving for you to drive with one hand. But the issue about use of phone is about concentration. That at that point in time, if anything happens, where each time you are making a call, if you have to be honest with yourself, your mind is always with the person you are discussing with. You are engaged in that discussion. And that's why we say that in driving, you only look with your eyes, but the seeing is done with the mind. Yeah. That mind is what is tampered with when you are making calls.
And that's why people tell you, I'm calculating the distance between where I am and that vehicle that's coming. Let me see if I can get to that point and then see, hold on. Well, we've been joined by Mr. Patrick Adenusi. He's a road safety expert. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
Some bird whispered that you took a bike.
Let him tell us how he got here.
Okay, how did you get here?
I came on a bike and the longest distance I have ever ridden in my almost 60 years on the earth. Wow. Between my house and Ajah was less than 7 minutes. And just on a spot in Ajah, I was in the traffic for 1 hour, 27 minutes that I didn't move. So I had to get down from the vehicle. Someone took over and I took a bike from Ajah and I rode on a bike to this point.
So what's causing the gridlock in the Ajah part of Lagos?
Well, it is not just the Ajah part now. It may look hard, but the truth is common sense is severely lacking in this country right now. We have adopted the strategy of converting 1 lane to 2 lanes and 3 lanes before any crisis. And so when there is crisis for us to queue for fuel, rather than form 1 lane that we are not used to doing, we also now go to that service station and create multiple lanes. There are 2 stations by VGC traffic light. I think the government should close those 2 stations down now. On Monday, 1 kilometer took 3.5 hours. On Tuesday, it was 3 hours. On Wednesday, it was 3 hours. Yesterday, it was a little better. It was 1 hour, 30 minutes. Today, at a spot, I was there for over an hour. So if we stop that station from dispensing at that point,